Hello, I'm Silver. We will learn about River Delta. One thing, you'd enjoy the latest changes. A river delta is a landform created by deposition of sediment that is carried by a river as the flow leaves its mouth and enters slower moving or stagnant water. This occurs where a river enters an ocean, sea, estuary, lake, reservoir, or another river that cannot carry away the supplied sediment. It plays a role in size, geometry, and location of the receiving basin. They are important in human civilization, as they are major agricultural production centers and population centers. Besides, every human can provide coastline defense and can impact drinking water supply. They are also ecologically important, with different species assemblages depending on their landscape position. How does the river formation work? River deltas form when a river carrying sediment reaches either a body of water, such as a lake, ocean, or reservoir, another river that cannot remove the sediment quickly enough to stop delta formation, or an inland region where the water spreads out and deposits sediments. The river's velocity decreases rapidly, as it forms into delta, that is, they do not have strong tidal currents. This formation is built by an alluvium. Alluvium is loose, unconsolidated soil or sediment that has been eroded, reshaped by water in some form, and redeposited in a non-marine setting. As the deltaic lobe advances, the gradient of the river channel becomes lower because the river channel is longer but has the same change in elevation. Deltas are typically classified according to the main control on deposition, which is a combination of river, wave, and tidal processes, depending on the strength of each. There are 7 types of deltas: wave-dominated deltas, tide-dominated deltas, Gilbert Deltas, Tidal Freshwater Deltas, Estuaries, Inland Deltas, and Mega-deltas. Let's start with wave-dominated deltas. The wave-driven sediment transport controls the shape of the delta, and much of the sediment emanating from the river mouth is deflected along the coastline. For example, Nile Delta, or the St. George lobe of the Danube Delta, in which waves are the dominant factor shaping the fluvial sediment. Next, the tide-dominated deltas. These deltas, which are usually highly turbid due to strong tidal currents generated by large tidal ranges, like Burdekin and Norman River, high turbid strength causes flooding, which may expel marine water and flushed material from the delta. Next, the Gilbert Deltas, a type of delta formed from coarse sediments, as opposed to gently sloping muddy deltas such as that of the Mississippi. For example, a mountain river depositing sediment into a freshwater lake would form this kind of delta. This comes from Grove Carl Gilbert, 1843 to 1918. Next, the tidal freshwater deltas. A tidal freshwater delta is a sedimentary deposit formed at the boundary between an upland stream and an estuary. The origin of a tidal freshwater delta involves processes that are typical of all deltas as well as processes that are unique to the tidal freshwater setting. For example, many tidal freshwater deltas prograding into Chesapeake Bay along the east coastline of the United States. Next, the estuaries. An estuary is a partially enclosed coastal body of brackish water with one or more rivers or streams flowing into it, and with a free connection to the open sea. Mississippi River is an example, as discussed earlier, compared to the Gilbert Deltas. Next, inland deltas. When a river divides into multiple branches in an inland area, only to rejoin and continue to the sea. Such an area is called an inland delta, and often occurs on former lake beds. For example, Okavango Delta, which is located in Botswana. And finally, megadeltas. Megadelta can be used to describe very large Asian river deltas, such as the Yangtze, Pearl, Red, Mekong, Irrawaddy, Ganges, Brahmaputra, and Indus. So, these are 7 types of various river deltas that you've learned. Like, comment, and subscribe now.